Um, I hope you are practicing previous lessons. For a coder to preview and write, review the codes is very important. You have to rewrite the codes yourself in a clean IntelliJ, or you can use the same IntelliJ, it doesn't matter. But you have to, I'm not saying must, I think have to is above that. You have to write the codes yourself. It's very important to understand what we are doing. And by doing that, you will have another chance to learn next questions. I mean, when you review the previous lessons, if you rewrite them, if you swallow the topic entirely, it will be much easier for you to learn next topics. And if you are practicing, you know what I mean. One more thing, when we are explaining a code, it's more important to understand when to use it. If you know which code is for what, you can use them when you need them. Otherwise, if you just memorize them, using them will be very hard for everybody and for you, of course. So please try to understand. Please try to understand when we should use which code. I will try to explain that part in the questions, and if I forget, please remind me. Okay, first we were learning string manipulations, and I want to review what we have learned in the previous lesson. Let me make it a little bigger for us to see. We have used a few of them already. To uppercase, I will review the code first, then I will write them to the slide. Uppercase is used to change all the letters to capital letters. And also we have another code. I'm checking it. Oh, here. Also, we can use lowercase, similar functionality, so I'm not going to explain it. The second one was equals. You know, when you are working with string data type, it's very important not to use equal symbol. This is for primitive data types. If you are using string data type, you have to use equals method. Just remember it like this. If you are working with string data, you have to use equals to check two different string data. Equals ignore case, it is very similar. If you don't mind case sensitivity between two different string values, you should use equals ignore case. It will ignore the case sensitivity. The length. Yes, we have a long data like this. It's really easy to understand Java, isn't it? And you don't want to count how many characters it has. For this, we can use computer to count the number of data. And easily, using the name of the string data and adding that length after it will give you the length of the data. Also, we have learned substring. You know, this is a data, string data. And if you want to take a part of it, if you want to take the first part, learn, for example, you can do it. Or you want to take after index. You can use a number to say that if you use 6, for example, it will start from index 6 and it will print all of it. One more thing, perhaps you do not know, perhaps you couldn't be able to remember index structure. This is our string data. And you know, to reach each character here, Java uses index structure. The important thing, index starts from 0. The first letter's index number is 0. If you say, hey, I want to see the character at index 0, it will bring the first letter of the string data. The next one is 1, 2, 3. It is 3. I was sometimes I forget this last part, and it will continue like this. Of course, it will follow the math rules. It was very quick review. Let's write them to memorize. Of course, in coding, we do not memorize anything. I just wanted to say that. Okay, we have we have one here. No, that's not the one. Oh, we haven't reviewed anything so far, or I couldn't be able to find it. I'm just checking the class slide to find. I'm really sorry it's taking time. Okay, I will recreate it. Okay, let's recreate it here. This is the slide, and we are at the lesson 10. Here I will create an easy one and delete everything here to create a reviewing lesson. Sorry for that. I haven't prepared it before, and I will make it a little bigger. Now let's use this one. Now I think we are ready. First thing we have learned is string manipulations. First, we have learned to uppercase to lowercase. It changed the type of characters. Changes the case, of course. And to lowercase, do the similar thing, to lowercase. These methods change the letters. These methods changes the letters. And then, I mean, there are types. We have also learned equals. It's one of the most important method we use with string data type. And you know, if you want to be a tester, you are going to use this method a lot of time in your life. Equals. Oh, it's not. Sorry. I cannot write it. Okay, it's right. Just okay now. This method is used to compare two string values. It's very important when we are using string data type, we shouldn't use equals sign symbols. We should, when we are working with string data type, we should not use equals symbols. It's very important. The reason is sometimes this gives right answer, but sometimes false. You cannot trust it. But equals will compare only the values of a string data, so it is trustworthy. You can trust it with your all heart and use it. Third, we have also learned equals ignore case. Again, when we are comparing two string values while ignoring the case sensibility. Now it is very similar, so I will delete this part. This method is used to compare string values, ignoring the case sensibility. Okay, the next one we have learned charret method. You know, string data type uses index structure, and whatever you end whatever number you enters here, it will check for that number. Desired letters index number will should be written here according the number you entered to the method. Java will return desired letter. This reason, if you entered 3 here, for example, let me write it one more time. And the index is 0, 1, 2, 3. Let's say you have entered 2 here. Charted 2. So we'll check. This is not the one. Oh, this is the one we're looking for, and it will return the letter of that index. 5, the length. This method will return the number of characters used in string data. It has other usages, but for now we do not know them. So let's focus on this one. If your string data has, let's say, 100 characters in it, this length will give you 100. You do not need to count them, just create it and use this method to learn the length of the string data. Also, we have used substring, substring method. There were 2 different substring methods. Actually, they are same method, but it has 2 different usages. The first one, if you enter a number, if you enter a single number, like substring 1. Let's focus on the Java, and I will write index numbers 0, 1, 2, 3. If you enter 1, for example, it will start from that index and it will print all of the rest. It will return AVA, starting from index 1 and printing all the rest. Returns starting from the first, starting from the number entered, returns all start from the number entered. If you enter 1, it will start from index 1 and it will print all of it. But if we use 2 numbers, it is a little different. Let me write it here again. Java is beautiful. I'm not going to write the rest. I don't need it. So index 0, 1, 2, 3, and space is also a character. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It's enough. If I use 2 numbers and if I use, let's say, 3 and 8, or let's use 7. It's not like 8. Okay. Again, this first number is the starting number. The second number is the limit. If you use single number, it will start from the number you entered and it will print all of the rest. But here we are setting a limit. This means start from 3. Let's start from the 3, including the 3, and there's a limit at 7. Let's draw a line before the 7. Okay, whatever between those numbers will be printed. 3 will be indexed 3 will be included, but index number 7 will not be included. So it will print a space and is. That's all. As you can see, 7 is not here, index 7. There, if it was included, there would be another space here, but there is not. And I think that much is enough for us to review what we have learned in the previous lesson. Okay. Let's continue. Oh, yes, we have learned how to use substring and then concatenation. We have learned substring. Today's topic is concatenation. Actually, we know how to use concatenation, but let's use it in the coding, then we will review what's written here. If you read this one first, it will be very hard to understand, but when we use it to review something, it is more understandable. Okay, I'm trying to find the code here. It's here. First, I will create today's package, day 10, and the name will be very similar to the previous one, string manipulations. And today's first class is concatenation, CO1. Of course, I will create name method, but I'm faster than my computer, so I will wait for it. And okay, I'm ready right now. To work on, of course, I need a few variables. And this time I will create string, boolean, number, double, blah, blah. And let's create them. String, first I want to create a string data. str1, it will be Java. The second one is also another str, and the value is beautiful. And I also want to create a boolean. You know, I can store true or false. Boolean, BL, and I will make it true. I'm a true person. And let's create integer number. It will be 20 if I can. I'll write it. No, I couldn't. Okay, I did now. I'm going to create another one. It will be double, and the name will be double. It will be a number like this. We have a lot of different values and variables. Of course, if you know the meaning of the concatenation, we have already done it when I use it like this. Sort str1 plus a number or boolean bl plus str2. We have done it a lot of times. You know, the system will print the values here. Let's run it. Then I will try to explain what is happening there. Yes, it takes time. It's a very complex code. Okay, here it says Java through beautiful. Yes, it's truly beautiful. We know that, but although different way to explain that. We are saying to print str1, so it will print the value of str1, Java. Then plus bl, value of bl is true. And between them, there's a plus symbol. Yes, it's correct. But the problem here, this is a string data type, and this is a boolean. Normally, you cannot use plus symbol between them. If you remember, I told you that in this kind of situations, string is strong. What I mean is when another data type is faced with a string data type with the symbol, plus symbol, I mean, the other one will act like a string because string is strong. It will change the data type of the second one. It doesn't matter if this one is first one or the second one. Whenever they face a string data type, they act like a string data. So actually, what I'm written here, Java plus through. Normally, this is not a string, but because of the strong character of Java, the second one will also act like a string data type. So when you use them with plus symbol, it will print Java through. And then now this both of them are string, Java through. And we have another string, which is beautiful, and it will also print that one. That's easy. If you can remember, Java is strong in this kind of situations. You will be able to solve the equations. Let's write another thing. I will copy paste it here. Oh, let's write something else. So str1 plus, again, I want to print Boolean, and what about a number? So the result is very similar. You will see after writing, I will try to explain. Again, first, Java and Boolean faced each other. And even though the second one is a Boolean data type, it acted like a string data. And then another number comes, 20. After the true, there's 20. This number will act like a string data type too, because this one, Java through, is actually a string. It became a string in the process, in the calculation, and string plus number, the number will act like a string because string is strong. It will be like this. What happens if I write it like this? So str1 plus number plus double. Actually, it's like that, string plus integer plus double. You know, Java execute code starting from the left side. It's always like that. If it is in the same line, Java will start from the left. And str1 and number will be faced to each other. str1 is a string data and number is a number, integer one data type. The number will act like a string. Java 20, it will become. Then we have a double now. But this is a string now because string converted integer to a string. When we are comparing this value and this value with a plus symbol between them, this is a string and this is a double. Again, string is strong, doesn't matter what the type the number is. This second one will also act like a string data. And so it will be Java 20 plus whatever value double has. 3.54. Let's see. Undrop this one. Here it is. Exactly I have told. It's exactly like I told you. Java 20 and the double number. Double number. If you have any question, you can write it from the Zoom channel or YouTube channel or Slack channel. It doesn't matter as long as you write it from somewhere. I'm trying to follow. I'm sorry. There's that line. I'm trying to follow it from everywhere. connection problem right now. A second, please. Okay, let's continue. Let's try something else. If I do it like this, so if I try to write Boolean and number in the same sort command, this is the Boolean through, and this is the number 20. It is complaining right now, as you can see, there is a red line under it. When I check that, it says you cannot use plus symbol between integer and Boolean. It's very interesting. And, let me write and explain it here. We cannot use plus symbol with other different data types. I mean, you cannot use it for a Boolean and number. Of course, if there were two numbers here, it works. But when we try to use it with a Boolean and number, it won't work. But we can use it, of course, for numbers. Sort number plus double. The first one is 20, the second one is 3.54. If it was doing it like this, the system will print 20 plus double, right? 3.54. But actually, it does not. If it is between the numbers, it will calculate the sum of the numbers instead of writing them together. You will see total value of those numbers, as you can see. If you calculate sum of two numbers, the result will be this, 23.54. Okay, we write here concatenation, but we haven't used anything with that name. The thing is, those are, yes, then you may call them concatenation, but actually, string data type has a concat method. Let me write it. So str1 dot concat to go to concatenation, and I will write str2. It will directly print the result. Java bit will be without any space because we haven't entered any space here. Here it is. If you want to add a space there, it's very easy. So str1 concat. I want to add a space to it. Then I want to add str2. As you can see, just like plus symbol, we can use concat method again and again without adding anything else. It will print str1, then it will add a space after it, then it will print str2. I mean, there will be a space between two words. Just like this, finally, we could be able to print something meaningful. If I want to do the same thing here, for example, after a string data, I have added a number. Let's try to do that by using this concatenation concat method. Sort str1 concat number. Oh, and what's that? Sorry, concat number. I use different method. Wrong method actually. Here, It is complaining. It is saying, hey, if you want to use concatenation method, you have to enter a string. As you can see, it is not very useful for anyone here when you are trying to print something, is that I prefer using a plus symbol like this and print whatever I want to use. And there is another backfire with this concat method, but we haven't learned it yet, so it's very hard to explain right now. But in the future, I will try to explain that part too. The main thing here, you can only use it for string data type. That's all. But you can enter the number like this, of course, if you want. Because when you use double quotes, it will be a string. But I want to enter and explain it here. We can only use this method only for string data type. That's all. We cannot use other data types. So I think it's enough for this one. Let's review it from the slide. Oh, where we are. Oh, yes. Concatenation and other string. You know, it should be used like this. They use plus symbol. If it is between the string data types, we can also use concat method to add them all together. Just remember that, and don't use it. Don't use it if it's not necessary. If you want to, if you don't want to use plus symbol, you can use concatenation method between string data types. That's more than enough. The next one, contains, and yes, if you are planning to be a tester, you are going to use this contains method really a lot of times, more than other one. So it's very important in testing. And if you are planning to be a developer, you know, developers are also using doing unit tests. So I believe you are going to use it there too. In both cases, you are going to use it. So try to understand it very well. Again, let's go back to this coding. After learning it, we will review it from the slide. I will create another class for this one. The name will be CO2 and contains. And we need a main method here to work on. And a few string data types. One is enough, actually. I will write a string data. The name will be str. The one will be with Java, life is really funny. With Java, life is really funny. Okay, we have our string data right now. So when you face this kind of task, you will receive a data from web page. Right now we don't know how to, but don't worry, we will. When you receive a data from the website, and that's the data, and you know that it should contain a certain word like Java. How can we test that? It's very easy. We should use contains a method. So str dot contains, it's not contains Java. This will return you true or false. If str contains Java word, whatever you write here, it will return true. If it does not, the result will be false. And I believe this will be true because the text has Java word, and it's true, as you can see. Let's make it a little complicated. Yes, we have used it for a word. If I check this one, what happens? Yes, I have taken it from somewhere, but it's not an understandable word. But for computer, it does not mean anything. If it has it, it will return true. Yes, we have used it for a few letters. What if I use a single letter? So let's start. Does it contain A? I'm checking it for a letter. It is another term. Yes, it has, because we actually test a lot of them. Just but for Java, one is enough. Once is enough. If there is only one A, or if there are hundreds of them, the result will be only true. It doesn't matter how many A the text has. If it has only one, still it will be true. Yes, we have used double quotes. Let's use a different data. str contains, as you can see, it says you can write a char sequence here. Let's use a char. If I use single quotes, it means I am checking for a char data type. Double quotes means double quote means I'm looking at a string data type. Single quote means I'm looking for a char data type. It does not accept it. It says required type char sequence. It means string, but you have provided a char data type. It won't work. Let's make it a comment and write and explain it. Contains method does not accept char data type. Char data type as a parameter. Char sequence means char sequence, but actually you can say it's a string. What happens if I write something like this? Sub star, does it contain Java? Can you tell me the answer? What will I see? True or false? Do you know the answer? Oh, sorry. I wasn't going to that. It will false because the first letter is a capital. Actually, in the text, it doesn't have a Java with lowercase letters. The first letter should be a capital. So when I run it, it will be false. True, false. It is here. Oh, that will first. Okay. Yes, we have entered the values with self, but if I create the value before the method, I will create another string, string str2, and I will write Java here. This is another string data, and this is another one. I can use it like this too. So str contains str2. This will check if the str, the first text, contains str2. Value of it, of course, it will be Java, and it will be true because it contains Java. You do not need to write the value directly. You can use another string data to check it, and it is true, as you can see. A little tricky part when we're talking about the numbers. Let's create a string, another string, str3, and I will write a number as a string data type. And if I check something like this, so str3 contains, if I write it like this, as you can see, Java is complaining. It says you have to enter a char sequence string, but you have provided an integer number. It does not work this way. If you want to check it, you should write it like this. So str3 contains another string. You can write numbers right now. It works. You know, I have used double quotes to mention the numbers. It works this way. If you want to check for the number, you have to write it like this. And here, the last one is also true. I hope it's enough. Contains method is very important in every ways, whatever you are planning to be. And if you want to check a string inside of a string data type for another value, you can use contains. If it contains it, the result will be true. That's that easy. That's that easy. Don't worry about other things. If you can remember that, if you want to check for a value in a text or in a book, for example, you are checking for a name in a book. You can use this one, contains. It will check all the book, whatever you enter here, in a second. It doesn't matter how long the str value is, no matter what, less than a second, it will check all of it and it will give you a result. I hope it's understood. So let's continue from the slide. Yes, the disadvantage of this method is it cannot detect how many of the search string is in the value. For example, when I check for A, it says true, but there are a lot of A in the text value 1, 2, 3. For contains method, it does not matter. Whenever it finds the first one, A, for example, it will say yes, it has it. That's all for contains method, and in the data type you need to enter another string value or data value or variable. We can use both of them, but it should be a string value or variable. Another one is comment. Starts with. It's easy, don't worry. I will check if it starts with something. I will write another class if I can. Yes, I am prepared with finding. And I will write starts with. And first, I will create main method. Now I can work on. Let's create another string here. str. We cannot learn Java if we are preparing food. Yes. Or let's say when we are preparing food. While we are preparing food, that's better. We cannot learn Java while we are preparing food. You know, if you want to learn Java, you should focus on the subject. We have a string data right now. Let's do something now. So I want to check if it starts with something. If I can write here, starts with, it has two different options, but for now, focus on the first one. We will enter the string value. I will write we. Does it start with we? we, if you know the other language, the result will be true, of course, because it starts with it, right? If I do the same thing, so STR starts with we, the result will be false because this is a lowercase, but it starts with a capital. False comes here. STR starts with capital. This time I change the case. It's a capital now. It will give me true. So far, so good. If I write all of it, what happens? I will write STR starts with all the string. What will be the result? Let's see. It is true as expected. Because, everything starts with itself. If I check, when we check we will go to the beginning of the text and we will try to see if they are same. For this one, it's also same. For this one, we will go to the start point of the text and we will check all of it if it's the same. And yes, it's the same. It starts with it. Yes, at the same time, it ends with the same value, but doesn't matter for now. It will give us true. The interesting part, if I use it like this, so STR starts with nothing. Oh, I have forgotten to print this one. Sorry, let me print it here. Okay. What about this one? I have entered nothing here. I'm asking Java, hey, does this start with nothing? The result will be true. It starts with nothing. And I will try to explain that part. And it is true, as you can see. If I ask you, what is there before the first letter? You will say, there is nothing. Yes, there is nothing there. And because of that, it starts with nothing. If I ask you, what is there between C and A? The answer will be, there is nothing. You are right, there's nothing between them. Because of that, if I check, the Java will say true. There is nothing, it will say, there is nothing between C and A. It is just like that. What is there after D? There is nothing. Yes, there is nothing. If I check if it starts with nothing, it will say yes, it starts with nothing. Before the first letter, there is nothing. True. Yes, I know it's very a little confusing, but don't worry. Just focus on that. Before and after everything, there is nothing. If you ask that, the result will be true because there is nothing there. Okay, I told you something at the first when I check STR starts with, there was two different methods. Actually, there are same methods, but there are two different ways to use it. The first one, just entering the string value. The second one, after the string value, it asks us to enter an integer. Let's do that. I will write not and 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I think. Let's check if it is true. I will try to explain. It is false. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. What about 7? I think I miscount. It is true. Okay, right now it's working. Let me write and explain. We can not learn, and that much is enough. I will write the index numbers 0, 1. Space is also another character. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The space 7, 8, 9. Okay. This number is start checking from index 7. Start checking after index 7. So it will start from here, including the index, starting index, of course. And the what is not learn right now? Not learn Java. You shouldn't take the part of the sentence. It may cause a lot of misunderstandings like this. If you start reading from 7, the first thing you will see, not learn Java. But when I check after 7, does it start with not? Yes, it is. It does. After 7, it starts with not word. As you can see, if you want to set a starting point, you can write the number after the value. That's all. If we want to set a starting index, we can enter it after the string value, just like this one. So what happens if I write it like this? Oh, it's the break time. Okay, let's save our break time, then we will continue. For a second, I have forgotten. I will give 10 minutes. Then yes, we will of course continue. Thank you very much and hope to see you after 10 minutes. Okay, let's continue. Where were we? We were learning a lot of things about. I start with method. Yes, we were just about to try something else. If you enter the word and the number, it starts from that index number to check if the text value starts with that value. In here, it's not. After this part, if we enter 7 here, it will check this text value. And it will check if it starts with not. Yes, it does start with not, so it will give us true. Okay, let's check something else. If I write it like this, what happens? I'm looking for we, but I want to start from index 0. I'm sorry, I have forgotten to write. Str starts with we, and I want to start from number 0. It's the same, right? Index, the first letters index value is 0, so it will check this value. It's the same, I know. And does it start with we? Yes, it does. So the result will be true. Voila, another true we have here. If I write similar thing, we have seen a false here. I will show you another false. Str starts with. I will write Java, and I will enter 10. So it should be false. It's this. Let me explain why it is a false. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It will start from this part. But I am checking if the first value is Java. It is not, so because of that, the result is false, of course. I do not need to write an explaining for this one. I think the name of the method is a good explaining, and it's enough. Let's review it from the slide, and we will continue. Yes. According to value, if it starts with the value we have entered, the result will be true. Otherwise, it will be false. If you use single parameter like this or this is a string type, and we haven't entered any other parameter, like any integer after that. If it is like this, if it starts with it, the result will be true. Don't forget this, everything starts with nothing. At the beginning, there was nothing, so everything starts with nothing. When you ask it, the result will be true. And if you set a starting point, it will check the next values, and it will start with it will start from that point, including the numbers value you have entered. And another one ends with this structure. The way of they are doing things are same, but we have also a question here, and it will be a good question for everybody, I think. Let's try to solve it. But before that, I want to check something. Sorry for that. Okay. Oh, again, I have the same thing. Sorry. I will check from there. No, it's not working. Okay. Let's return to the topic. I just tried to reach somewhere. Oh, it's working right now. Okay. I just checked if there's a question in YouTube, but there's not. How to implement a search? Oh, sorry. I can see a question right now. How to implement a search filter with a search from a list of string? It's totally a different question. We haven't learned the list topic, so I cannot explain that. Not yet, at least. Okay, going back to the topic we have. And the new topic is CO4 ends with. It's very similar. I just need to enter another string. Main method, string data type, str can be the name of it. Java is beautiful everywhere. If I can write, okay, I did it. Let's write something now. I will write salt, str, and sweet everywhere. The result will be through, right? Because it ends with everywhere. So we should see through in the console. Here it is. The first question was very easy. The second one, so str, does it end with nothing? Is there anything after the last letter? There is nothing. So it will be true. There is nothing at the end of everything. Another one, if I write the value itself, what happens? The result will be very similar to the previous one. I will enter all the value here. The result will be, of course, true. Because at the end, when I come here and if I check all of it, yes, they are same. So it will be true. I mean, everything ends with itself. Let's see a false result here. Salt. Oh, this is not salt. str ends with Java. No, it does not. So the result will be false. Okay, that was a first explaining. I hope I could be able to explain. I explained it first because it is very similar with the starts with. Just it's checking the end of the string value. That's all. That's the main difference between them. Everything else works same way. Let's go to the slide and check it from there. Yes, according to ending value, it will return a Boolean result, true or false. Java is very beautiful, very interesting. Does it end with very? Yes, it does. Does it end with very dot? Oh, this one does not have a dot, so it is false. So this is the true value. Does it end with nothing? Yes, there's nothing at the end. All right. We have the question now. I will copy the question and I will try to solve it. Let me take it to the website. I will also share the question from Zoom channel. You can also write your questions from there. I will try to solve the question right now in a few seconds. Questions. CO5 questions. The first question is coming after creating the main method, and it's like this. Oh, it's a very long one. Okay, I don't want to say a long question. Okay, I will write it like this. Don't worry about testings. I don't know what they mean. Just I will delete them. The question is, get the email from user. Okay, from user with this scanner, and user will enter data and will store it. If emails does not contain, there is an if condition, and if it does not contain, we will print invalid email. There has to be an @ symbol in it. If it does not contain a gmail.com, we will say mail must be a Gmail. Okay. Again, we will check if the body contains this. At the end, this is a little different. If email does not end with, if it does not end with gmail.com, we will use ends with method. We will print there is a typo in the email. Okay. The question is very simple. The first task is getting the email from user. It's very easy. I will just create the scanner class, new scanner system.in. I cannot type today. Okay, we have the scanner class. Let's inform user what we're asking for. So please enter a Gmail. Okay, user will enter a Gmail and we will save it to a string data. It will be text, email will be the name. I will use scan and I will store whatever user enters here. I have stored the mail from the user. The first one, it's not very hard as you can see. We will check if the mail does not contain @ symbol. This means first we will start everything by using an if. And here, I need to check if the value user entered, named email, contains that symbol. If email contains @ symbol, right? I should write it like this. But here, if it contains it, this code will be executed and it will print invalid email. But I don't want this, right? I want to print this value if it does not contain it. So if you want to change the value, you should write an exclamation mark at the beginning. Now it will, this is true. If it is true, this mark will make it false. If it contains it, it will be true. And now it will false because of this one. So this code won't be executed. If it does not contain it, this part will be false. And this exclamation mark will make it true. So if it does not contain it, this code will be executed. I hope it's enough explaining. Shortly, if you want to change the statement's value to the false, you should use exclamation mark. The second one, if the mail does not contain @gmail.com, mail must be a Gmail. We will print that to the console. The question here, this is another if else statement. Yes, this is another if statement, but are they connected? This is the question I should ask. If they are not connected, if I want to check all statements here, I need to create another if statements. But if I want to connect them, if system prints invalid email, I do not need to check other options, actually, statements. If you ask me, that should be that way. I mean, they should be connected. If the first one is right, don't worry about the rest, because it's already in an invalid mail. I do not need to check others. In this kind of situations, you should connect them, of course. Here, after the first one, I will write if it is false, check this. If this one is false, if this statement, the system will check the second one. That's all. Else if the email does not contain @gmail.com, I will copy it. If email contains gmail.com. But, I will print this if this condition is. Here, if email contains @gmail.com, it will print this. It shouldn't be like this. If email contains @gmail.com, I cannot write this, right? So I should add an exclamation mark here. Another one will, if it does not contain it, system will print this. The last one is coming. If email does not end with gmail.com, we will print something. Still, they are connected. Another else if the email does not end with, email ends with gmail.com. Oh, not that one. Here, this one. We will print there's a typo in the email. If it ends with this one, I shouldn't write this, right? Because it should end with this one. So again, another exclamation mark should be here. If all of them are right, if it is not an invalid mail, if it contains gmail.com, if it ends with gmail.com, the system will come here. And if all the statements are correct, we will print else. Start email registered successfully. Oh, here. Okay. Let me try to explain one more time what we have done here. If email does not contain an symbol, we will print email, invalid email. Okay. At first, it's very simple. If it does not contain it, we will print something. Focus on this part, step by step. I wrote if email contains without this exclamation mark. If I write it like this, if there wasn't an exclamation mark here, if there's symbol in the email, it will be true and it will print this. But it's wrong. I want to change if it does not contain it. To make it negative, I will add exclamation mark here. The second one, they are connected. Because if I do not connect them, the system will check all the conditions separately. And after invalid mail, if there is no symbol, it will print mail must be Gmail. There is a typo in the mail. I don't want that. The system, if the mail does not contain symbol, it should only print invalid email. That's all. If that's the case, if you don't want to check others after printing this, you have to connect them by writing else if codes. The second one, if email does not contain @gmail.com, if it is like this, email contains @gmail.com. If it contains, this will be printed. We don't want that. To make it negative statements, I will use an exclamation mark at the beginning. If email does not contain @gmail.com, it will print this. This last one is very same. I will delete this one first. If email ends with @gmail.com, it should be right. It should be that way. I shouldn't write there's a typo in the email. If it does not answer with that, we should write there's a problem in the mail. Because of that, I use exclamation mark. If all of them are right, if user entered everything correctly, we will print email is registered successfully. Testing time. If you are planning to test something, and if these are the rules, you have to check all of them to see if they are working correctly, perfectly. Let's run the code. And now it is testing time. First, I will test the first rule. It says, please entering Gmail. Okay, I will enter brown@gmail.com. As you can see, I did not use @ symbol. So the first statement should give the error. Invalid email, perfect. What happens if it does not? It will have a Gmail @ symbol. So it will pass this statement, then it will come here. Let's check, let's use a different Gmail. brown@hotmail.com. Now it has @ symbol, so this error message won't be displayed. The second one will check the status. Mail must be Gmail. It's working perfectly fine until now, at least. So now I will use gmail.com, but I will add something at the end. brown@gmail.com, but mistakenly I pressed another letter. Let's say the system will check that too. There is a typo in the email. As you can see now, it didn't print mail must be Gmail. It's okay, it's a Gmail. I can see that, but I think there's a problem in the email. Let's do everything right and see the successful success message. brown@gmail.com. Everything is right. We should see the last message right now. Email is registered successfully. As you can see, it is working as we wanted. And we tested all the statements and everything is correct. Actually, when you are testing a website, you won't be able to see this code. Instead, you will have the rules like this. Test that. They will ask you, user should be able to enter a Gmail. And there will be a few underlines. The email should contain @ symbol. The email should contain @gmail.com and emails should end with @gmail.com. These are the rules of the typing an email, and you should test the website according to those rules. Of course, there will be more than 3 rules, but you should test them according to those rules decided by the company. Most of the time, they will give you the rules, so don't worry. But if you are a lonely tester in the company, and if you are the first tester they have employed, you should ask for the rules, or you may create these rules yourself. I think this is a good question, and I hope you will solve it yourself. Try not to look to the solution but don't worry, you can always pick at the solution. That was a good question. Yes, let's continue. Index O. That's another one which you may use in action. I will create another class named IndexO CO6 IndexO. Don't worry, it is another easy one. just may face a few problems. Don't worry, I'm just joking. I will write another string. Let's create another string value, str. The value will be with modern Java is very easy. I hope it is. Okay, I must change the first letter. I took writing right now. So we use this index of method to check to receive the index number of a character. If you want to see the value of index value of a letter, you can use it. For example, that's I wonder what the number of this A letter. So str index of A. Oh, it should be lowercase, and check the result. Here it is, it says 6, but I do not trust Java. I will check it myself. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, it's say. That's very interesting, right? The reason is, if you remember, index numbers, index starts from 0. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, it is here. It is right. It is working. Java did not fool us. Another one, I will use str index of. Before that, I want to show you something. Index of. When I write index of, I have 4 different methods with same name. It's because you can use different values here. As you can see, I can enter a string or char character. It also accepts char character. Let's use that index of E, for example. This system is not complaining. Instead of double cut, I have used single cut. It means I have entered a char data type. And let's see the result. Eight, perfect. If the A is 6, 7, 8, it is. It is working without any problem. I want to write and explain it here. Index of returns index number of first value variable. Value. For example, we have checked for A here, but there are more than one A's in a letters in the text value. But it only returned me the first one's index number. If you use index of, you should be aware of that. It will return you first letters value. Of course, instead of a single letter, we can also use the words. So str index of nothing. It will return me 5, I think. I'm not sure, but it should. 5 it is. Mother starts from index 5. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It doesn't matter if you entered letter or word. It will return you which index it starts from. And it's 5. Okay. I have found the first A's index number. And now I want to check if there is another one. If you want to check after this first one, let's say I know that at index 0, index 6, there is an A, but I want to check the rest again. And I want to check if there is another A in the text value. If that's the case, you can use it like this. If you want to use the starting point to search for a value, we can. We can. I can, you can, what do you need, what I'm saying? Well, don't worry, forget it. I forgot the song. I forgot the song. So, just after the value, I will enter a number of bars. So, str index of A, this is the letter I'm trying to look for, searching for, and I will enter 6. It will start from 6, but let's see, there is a problem here. It is again returned to 6, right? It is. I don't want to see 6 because already I know the A is at the index 6. So 0, 1, I will write like this, sorry. Here, when I enter 6, it checks this part, but at the beginning there is an A, so it will directly return that value. So I need to start it from the +1. Whatever the number is, it is 6. I need to use 7 to check the other one. So this time, instead of starting from A, it will start from D, and it works for me. Let's run it one more time. This time it will give the second A's index number. 13 it says, and I know it's right. It formed this A's index number here. I can do the same thing for other characters too. Let's check for the A. I know the first A is the 8. Let's check if there's another one. So star index of E, but this time I want to start from 8 plus 1, 9. If there is, please give me the result. It went 1. Okay, it's working. I think it's here. So if they ask you another question, let's find, I'm trying to find another letter here. Oh, here we have 2 letters here. Second with index number. I'm not looking for the first index number. I want to see the second one's index number. So it's very easy. The way of solving this one, first I need to reach the first one's index value. Then I will add +1 to it, to that number, and I will look for same letter one more time. Integer, first index of width. Let's find it. Str index of width. It will find the number of the this value, index of this value, and it will store it here inside of the first index width. Then I will use this one. So str index of, again I'm looking for the same letter, but I will use first index +1. Just like, oh, it didn't work. Oh, I'm sorry, I should write it here. Come on, first index of +1. It will work. And it will find the second with index number, and it is 20. It should be before the second in. Second is here, and it is. I understood it from the number. second int was at 21, and it says this is the 20, so it should be just before the second int. First is here, second one is here, and the 20 is index 20 is here, not the first one, as you can see. So something else. What happens if I look for something which is not there? str index of x. The result will be, I know that there is no x in it, -1. Oh. It means there is no x in the str string value. You know, when you are using this one, you expect it to return an index. So because of that, instead of a string, it returned a number. But easily we can understand that there's no x in it. Let's use a word str index of Hasan. It will result will be same because we don't have any Hasan in our text value, and we will see -1 there. It is. I tried to make it easy as possible. I'm sorry. I tried to make it as easy as possible, and I hope I could be able to explain it. So let's continue. Now I will try to solve a question. C07 question. Madam, let me check the okay. I have checked the YouTube account. There's no question there. Let's continue. Okay, get a string from user and the text to search, print whatever string from testers are text using index of method. It's very easy for you, you can do it. The next one is get a string from the user and text to search, check the usage of the desired text in the string, and print the following sentences. Okay, string does not contain search text, string text I used only once, search text used more than one. This one is very easy for you, I think. Let's try to solve the second question here. Now we copy it from this slide, if I can find it. You know, the most important thing when you are solving a question is understanding the question. At least that's my way of solving a question. So, it's a long one. First, we need to get the text from the user, a string from user, and the text to be searched for. Okay. I will create scanner. Scan new scanner system. Okay. In. So first we need a text to search. Enter a text. String str1 scan dot next line. Instead of next, I will use next line this time because user may enter a text with spaces or with out of which contains out of words, I will use this one. Thought, I'm sorry, let's write something here. Thought, please enter a text to search. Second search, second data will be searched in the question. For example, Java is beautiful will be the first one. The second one will be Java. Let's say user entered a book here, a long book, and the second one, he wants to see if a word is used in that book. String str2 search word. It's not a good name, I know, but it works. Does the job. Scan next. So it should work. We have two values taken from the user. What does it say? Check the usage of desired text in the string and print operate one of the following sentences. Okay, we will print one of them. Yeah, which one fits? String does not contain the search text. First, we need to check this one. Okay, if it contains it, we should not write this. If it does not, we will print it. Let's reason. Let's do that. If it's a condition, of course, if str1 contains search word. If it contains, I cannot write this one, right? If it does not contains it, I will print this. Start this. They should be connected, right? I don't want to check the number of usage if it does not have it. So I should use else if. If it is not correct, check this one. Now we should check if it contains it. Once is enough. How can I do that? I can use a lot of different ways to solve this question. Do you have an idea how can I solve this one? There are a few ways to solve this one, you know. Okay, I can check another condition, or as you can see, actually I need to check both of the situations at the same time, because if it does not contains it, I need to check if there is only one of one, if it is used only once or more than once. So I will copy this one too, and I will write, instead of else if, I will write else. If it is not right, do this. And I will create inner if statements. I can take I can check it like this. For example, I have an idea. I have a volume. Let's write user will enter Java is very beautiful. I cannot write it. I don't know why. Okay. And we will check for very word. Use usable enter very. This is the text we will search for, and this is the text one. Yeah, we will search it in the first string value. So I will check it from the. I know this first one is wrong because if it is false, we will come here. There's at least one. There is at least once very inside of it. If I check it from beginning, and if I check, I will check it from the beginning, and I will, if there's, it will give me a number. And after that number, I will add plus to it, and I will check it again. If I can reach another value, sorry, let me explain. Sorry, a second, please. I'm really sorry. I thought for a second I'm dying, but don't worry, I'm still here. Let me try to explain one more time. I will check for it by using index of. It will give me a number, 8, for example. I'm just making it up. And in the second time, I will try to search for the same thing starting from 8 plus 1. If the first one is 8, but the second one is minus 1, it means there is only one word in the text. If it gives me another number like 12, it means there's another word in it. So let's search for it. Else, and now in this else, I will create an inner if. If. Oh no, right now we do not need to create integer. I will take the first index of the array. First index. I'm sure there's only at least one word in it. str1 index of search word. This will give me a number, of course. It will give me the value of the very index. So let's try to find the second integer second index. I will look for the same search word, but I will start from index plus 1. str1 index of search word, comma. Let's start from first index plus 1. Right now, I have second index value. If if second index is different than minus 1, this means there are at least 2 word in it. If second index equals to minus 1, I will write so search text used only once in it. Else, it means there are more than one search text in it. The system will print this one. Let's try to do it. Now we will test. First, the text won't have the desired word. I will write Java is beautiful, and I will search very inside of it. Java is beautiful. Very. String does not contain the search text. Okay. This time I will enter Java is very beautiful. And I will search for very. Oh, it used only once. It's working. I will write this time Java is very beautiful, very, and another very will be there. And again, I will search for very one more time. And let's search for very. That's just more than one in the string. As you can see, I have calculated all the situations, and it seems like it is working. Okay, let's have 11 minutes for break time, and after 11 minutes, we will continue. Thank you very much. Okay, let's continue. We have solved the question, but I want to explain one more time. You know, we search for a string in another string, and user were entering the string values, and the desired word was also taken from the user. And we are checking if the text has the word. If it does not have it, we will print string does not contain the search text. Okay, that much was very easy. The second part was, if the search used only once, we will print this. If the text is used more than once, we were planning to print something else. So we should create a logic about that, right? How can I do that? This is the text value, and I have used index O method. And I'm looking for this word. If it has it, it will give you 8, for example. I'm just making the number 8. And you know, it should be the index 8. And if you search for same word starting from 9, 8 plus 1, it will give you the second one's index value, if there is a second one. If there isn't, the result, the second one's index value will be -1. That's the logic I have used in this question. If it contains it, if it is false, if this one false, it means the text has the word at least once. I'm sure of that. There is no other option. If the code came here, this means the text has it at least once. But I need to check if it has more than one. So I took the first index of the desired searched word, and I have tried to find the second index by using this first index. This first index plus 1 will be the starting point. If the result is -1, this means second index is -1. I mean, if the second index is -1, there is only one desired search word in the text, and we have printed that result. If it is not -1, it means there is more than one, at least more than one search word text, whatever we say, in the string. And from that point on, let's continue. And we have another method. I think we have understood the index. So it returns the first index it faces in the text. The second one is the last index O, and we are going to write this search, the word we are going to search here. The understanding logic is a little different than the first one. Actually, they are using same structure, but I will try to explain how it works. Okay, let's create another class for this one. I will write CO8 last index O. The main difference between them is last index O starts from the endpoint of the text. Main, and let's create a string str. Is it Java is getting better and harder? It's not actually hard. Don't worry, just you need to rewrite everything we have written until now, and you will start understanding. But if you don't write them, and if you haven't written the codes until now, the next topics will get harder and harder every day, but they are actually very easy. But you have to swallow all those codes before understanding next topics. We have a value, text value, stored in a string data type, and let's start from a word. So first I want to see the length of this data. Str length. This will give me how many letters are used in this string value. 33, okay. There are 33 letters in this data. Now I will use last index. Sort str last index of, I will write a letter A, or I can write E. I prefer using E this time. And it will give me 33, 32, 31, I think. Yes, it does, as you can see. Let me explain what happened here. Last index of means we will start looking from the last index. Normally, you always run left to right, but here, this time, because of this code, we will check right to left. The length is always +1 than the last index. So the last index, the last characters in this index number is 33 and E is 31. It starts from here, the last one, but it does not start counting from 0 or 1. The index structure does not change. Again, 0, 1, 2, blah, 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 31, 32, it goes on that way. Just we are changing the way of looking. We will start from the last one. Like index structure is same. If I look for another letter, str last index of A, for example, 31, 30, 29, 28. As you can see, it is working. If I write something else, sort str last index of, let's write something which is not there. Just like the previous one, the result will be -1 because we don't have an X letter in it. I can use also letters and words too. So string last index of better, but first letter should be lowercase. It will give me index of this one. 16 it says, and I believe you. I'm not going to count it again. So we could be able to find the index last is index. What happens if I enter it with a number? So str last index. Oh, I'm looking for E again, but this time I will enter a number. I will enter 31, and let's see what happens there. As you can see, it didn't change the result. It is still 31. So I should lower the value, right? I will write same thing with -1. Sort str last index of E, but this time I want to start from 30 because I know that at 31 there is an E, but I want to see the other one. I will start counting from here and check for E. Oh, here we have one. It will give you the index number of this letter. So it's coming. Very exciting, right? No, it's not okay. As you can see, the structure is very similar. But the main purpose of last index and index of, we can use both of them at the same time to solve same question. So let's do that. Actually, using both of them at the same question is better because it will be not advanced solution. I will create another class and I will try to solve same question. 9 questions. Main method, the question I have solved a few minutes ago. Same question. Let's delete this question number. It's gonna stay there. We will get a string from user and we will get a string data to search in it. Instead of getting them from user, I will directly create them. Let's say this str is taken from the user and it is Java is very beatable. And I want to search for string search text word, it doesn't matter. Very. I have taken them from user, I imagine that way. And we are going to use these variables in coding. First, we will check this one. String, in which situation I can write this text? That's very easy. If it does not contain it, I will print it. str1 does not contain, that contains search word. If it does not, you want to print that. Okay. Start this. If it does not contains it, I will write this one. Let's try to understand something else. When I check for the number of vary, from if I use index of, what will be the result? Before doing that, let's write that. Start str index of search word. This will give me a number, right? If and it will start from the beginning to check this word. It says 8. What happens if I start from the last one? This time I will use same code with different method. I will use last index of search word. I will search for the same one by using different method. The number will be same because it doesn't matter where you start from. It is at the same index, no matter what. If there's only one word in it, they have to be same numbers because there's only one variable. No matter which side you start looking, the number will be same. I will use this logic. No matter which side we start searching, if there is only ones in the text, if there's only ones text, the result will be same. The number, result number, will be same. As you can see, I will use this statement. And I will connect them because if it contains it, I want to check something else. Else if those numbers are same. But of course, to check them, I need to take those numbers because I'm planning to check them here. Integer, first index, and I will use it like this in str index of search word, and it will be 8, right? In this situation. Integer, second, or let's use last index. This time I will write the same thing with different word, different method. But I know that for this one, the index of vary is same in both situations. If they are same, I will write something. If first index equals to second index, not that one. Oh, last index, sorry. I will write there is only one. Stop. If they are not same, it means there is more than one. Else, it means they are not same. Last situation, I will print this. So, okay, it should be same. It should work. And let me test if it is working. First, I will test it. Then, if it is working, I will try to explain. And I will make them comment. We don't need those. I don't want to see them. So, search text is used only once in the string. Yes, Java is beautiful is the text, and I'm looking for very. Now let's write very here and run it one more time. Search text is used more than one in the string. Okay, if I delete all the very words and run it one more time, string does not contain the search word. Okay, but there's a problem here. Houston. Okay, I found it. Mistakenly, I have entered the slash there. Let me check the YouTube channel if we have any question there. Okay, for now we do not have. So I will show you when I add two very words. And I know now I want to see the values. The index numbers will be different. When I check from the beginning, it will give me the index of this word. When I check from the ending, it will be 24, as you can see. It means there are more than one. If I make them, if there was one word in it, it doesn't matter which side I choose, the numbers will be the same. And will be there are 8. If there wasn't any, I won't check any numbers because both of them will be -1 this time. As you can see, they are both -1. It doesn't matter which side you start looking because it doesn't have any word in it. The result will be this. Text string does not contain the search word. Okay, let's review what we have learned from the slide. Yes, a last index of starts from the ending. Oh, Java is very beautiful, very same sentence. Interesting. And it starts from the ending, last of the sentence, and checks if there is any word in it. If there is only one of it, there will be only one answer. But if there are more than one same value in it, if you start from beginning, it will give you 8. And if you start from the ending, it will give you this very words index value. If the result is -1, it means it couldn't be able to find it. And we know that. I think we solved this question. Oh. So let me try to explain something else. The next topic is empty. It is a little different, but don't worry. I will try to cover it. There's two methods for this is empty and is blank. It's very I think it should be easy for you to understand if you know the meaning of empty and blank. At first, this is the trend. We will write the code, then review it from the slide. Is empty. Let's write a string. This will be a long one. String is long. It will be like this. There is nothing in it, right? So now let's test it. First, I want to print sort str1. Here, there's nothing. So it's working. Let's check if it is empty. Sort str1 is empty. If it is empty, it will return through. Oh, it is empty. Okay. And it seems like it's empty, right? There's nothing in it. If I add string 1, from now on it has out of space in it. I change the value of str1 and I will check something else. So, does str1 empty? Is it empty? False. It says it is not empty. Because, even though we cannot see them, it has space variables in it. Because of that, it is not empty. But there is a solution here. str1 is blank. This one will give a return true because except space characters, there is nothing in it. For example, sometimes a user tries to enter space characters as a username, and we don't want that, right? We want to see the name of the user in the application. When you want to test that, you can use is blank. If there are only space characters in it, the statement, the result will change. I want to use another one, str1. Now it will be equal to x. And let's use same code. Sort str1 is empty. And I will also, let's run it. False, it says it's not empty. Oh, it's okay. Is blank. Sort str1 is blank. Of course, it will be also a false because it is not blank. There's other characters in it. It doesn't matter if I add out of space here, the result will not change because is blank is checking if there is other character than space, the result will be false because it is not blank, as you can see. I will also use, I will test something else. str1 equals to nothing. Yes, we knew that, but we haven't checked what will be the result if I check is blank. So str1 is blank. Now it has nothing in it. It is empty, and at the same time, it is blank, of course. There's no space in it, but other than space, there's no character in it. So it works, as you can see. This code is usually used for text box, just like Amazon.com. I'm not there, sorry. For example, one of the most used code to test text boxes. When you try to not sign in, register, new customer starts here. As you can see, there are a lot of text boxes here. They expect me to enter a number. Let's say when I leave it blank like this and write other things. When I press continue, this system should not accept it like this. To pass it, I can enter space characters. And when I fill all the text boxes, still it shouldn't work. It has character in it, but still it is a blank value. For all of them, for example, you can check that short with 9 characters here. But when I enter 9 space characters, still the number of blanks still will be 9, but it will be blank. It's very important. When you are testing things like that, you have to test there's possibilities. Users will try everything, and they will do unimaginary things. They will try enter symbols there. I don't know why they try things like that, but they do it. So I should test it according to different situations, scenarios. You have to think them in your mind and act according to their situations. Good tester thinks professionally negative. Good testers try to find bugs. Of course, that's our job. And to do that, we should be able to think different scenarios. If it is not asked from you, and if you have a strong possibility that may cause a problem in the future, just inform your test lead or developers to think about that. And most of the time they will be agree with you, and if it costs to fix the problem. Okay, thank you very much for today, and hopefully we will continue tomorrow. Yes, we will have lessons on Saturday and Sunday too. Good night, wherever you are.